Good evening. And welcome to our live crafting session this evening. My name is Jenny McCormac and I'm an independent Stampin Up Demonstrator based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire in the UK. Thank you for joining us this evening. It is indeed Thursday the 16th of February and we're live here on Facebook, so if you are joining us live, do pop in and say hi. Let me know that you're watching along with us. Hi Scott, good evening to you. If you're watching on replay, whether that's on Facebook or on YouTube, then if you have any queries or questions, do pop those in the comment section. I do read them all, and if there's an answer required to a question, then obviously I will add that into your comment. So I've got a card to make for you. This is another one from the very talented Leena Girsa. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce her surname, I better find out. And this features again the little bird stamp set. It's called Sweet Songbirds, and I did one of her designs. Let me see, it was only yesterday. I have to think about that. Which was this one here, and she came up with this really clever idea of using the wings and the little beaks to create birds in a bird's nest, which I thought was really clever. So I cased that from her directly, and she also did a fancy fold, so I'm going to recreate this. I had a quick go this afternoon. I am going to change a few bits around just to improve it. One is I'm going to make these designer series paper pieces larger, so there's less of a white border, and I'm going to make my circle that I die cut smaller, so there's more of a border. You can only just see the scalloped edge circle die here, and that's from the circle die set, and it's almost a double easel card, but it has this panel that holds the front and the back together, and she's cleverly done it with the in colour designer paper. And when I went to my pieces of this paper, I discovered I had lots of strips that were give or take exactly the right width, which was perfect. So I'm going to utilise some more of those. So I'm going to show you how to create this card. And then the other cards I've made this week are this one here. Hopefully that's fairly straight and you can see it. That was Tuesday's one, and then this was on Monday. So you can catch all of these on YouTube. And I always put them under a playlist. If they've got animals or birds or anything on them, there's a playlist in my YouTube channel called Animal Magic, and anything with an animal related theme, so in this case I've included birds, will show up in that playlist. The Sweet Songbirds is also from the annual catalogue, and there's a playlist for that as well, if that helps you. I've also got the cards that we're doing at Coffee and Card on Friday and Monday and Tuesday. So if I remember, I will show you those at the end. Okay, so let's get crafting. This is created from a standard piece of A4 card, which is cut in half down the centre, and that's at 10.5 centimetres. And then what we're going to do is we're going to score this at 10 centimetres and then another 10 centimetres and then 5 centimetres, give or take. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be exact until you come to add obviously your designer paper. So let's do that to get started. So I have my trimmer here. So I've already pre-cut this piece to size, and what I'm going to do, just move these stamps out of the way, I'm going to score this at 10 centimetres, so it's approximately 4 inches if you work in inches. Let's extend this out. It seems I've got rather a lot on my desk, so I'm going to do this at 20 centimetres, and then this leaves us with just under 10 centimetres left. So basically what I want to do is fold this piece in half, for want of a better description. So if I just measure that, that is actually sort of 9.6. So I am going to score it just sort of under the 5. Like so. And just put that down for 1 second. And so what we're going to do is fold this one in and back. So this gives us our little front section. And then this one goes back. Now if for any reason you fold it and it's the wrong way round, just reverse it and rescore it, or rather just refold it, I should say. So I'm using the bone folder to get a nice crisp edge here, like so, and the same on here. Okay, so this measures 10.5 centimetres by 10, and then this fold here is just under 5 centimetres, because the whole card is just under 30 centimetres in total. So that's our fold, if you like. So it's very similar to a double easel card. You could also, having got to this point, rather than measure it, you could just fold this card over in half and use your bone folder if you don't want to measure that out. Just going to bring that in, hopefully, so you can see that a little bit better. Okay, right, now I've cut these panels ready, so I have changed the sizing of these slightly, and the papers that I'm using are all from the In Colour paper stack. So this measures 10 by 10.5, and this panel from the front measures about 4.5, so just half a centimetre short and half a centimetre short overall. So it's about 2 to 3 millimetres of margin all the way around, which I think is better because I think there's a lot of white going on here. So I can stick those down in preparation and just use whichever glue you have either to hand or you prefer. At the moment, I'm not sure I have either. So I hope you've had a good day, Scott. I wonder if you've had a go at the pizza box yet. I know you're busy, doesn't matter if you haven't. Okay, I'm attached to a hair of my own here. Okay, take my glasses off. So I'm just going to, there it is, just going to put this panel on the front back section, if that makes any sense. I'm using the dotty side, I rather like the dotty side. So this is Starry Sky, this is Sweet Sorbet. So, just a little bit in the middle. So there's our the base element of the card. The next element we've got is the piece that's going to connect the front to the back, and this is scored, I want to say, at about 14 centimetres. Just going to measure this one. It's about 13. Got to make sure it's going to fit. So I'm actually going to cheat slightly, because what I'm going to do, when I put this piece down here, I've covered up all of the pieces of paper strips that I put on this panel. So rather than waste those, what I'm going to do is put 3 on the bottom and then put a few at the top and then over onto the back. So I'm sort of going to cheat a little bit. And I know that I've got red as my bottom piece here, and these pieces measure a little over, it's about 1.2 centimetres by 5, because that's 5 centimetres wide. So I'm going to start with the dark one there. So what I'm going to do, now this is a bit of an experiment, this bit, because this is not how I did the original one, but I'm thinking I'm just being slightly lazy and conservative of pieces of card. So I'm going to put, and I would probably actually use wet glue for this so that you can move these around a little bit. Okay, so 1, 2 and 3 I think. So I'm just going to have a look and see how that looks. Add that one in. So good evening if you've joined us since the start. Welcome to you. Okay, so those are that's going to go on there, and you can either line it up with the bottom of the card or the bottom of the paper. It's really up to you. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top and work back. And I've got 3 pieces here and then my fold. So what I'm going to do is exactly that. So 1, let's choose my pieces carefully, maybe like that. I'm hoping I should have got enough pieces. 1, 2, and I'm going to use, doesn't matter what to put on the back, but I want a contrast when it comes over the other side. So I've got 3 pieces here. So I've got 3 at the front, 3 on the back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to score here and then put 2 more pieces behind. So I really am cheating. What Leena did was she did a whole panel like this. But what did I decide? This is the back, isn't it? So I'm just going to, no, this is the back. Literally going to put my card in, and where I've got that panel there, I'm not going to cut it, I'm just going to score that there. Now if you're doing loads of these, obviously what you could do beforehand is just measure that and score at that point, which is 5.7 centimetres. Like so. And now I'm just going to add these two pieces on. So there's one and two. And I think that'd be enough, and if it isn't, I've got some extra pieces I can chop up. Okay, so there's my fold, not particularly tidy, I do apologise. Okay, so this is going to go the bottom there. There's my fold, and then this is going to attach to the back of the card. Now I guess you could actually leave that white if you wanted to. That would be entirely up to you. You could definitely do that. I'm going to add a little bit more glue because I can see this is slightly lifted. So what I'm going to do is put a bit of glue on the end of a piece of paper, like so. And just draw that along there. Okay. So Leena definitely did the whole thing, but I'm thinking maybe leave the back piece white so that you've got a complete white panel on the back. Where you want to put your sentiment is on the inside here. Okay, but you could also write it on the back if you wanted to, but I quite like that the sentiment is then hidden from view. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that flat for a minute. This is going to get positioned in here, and if it's not very tidy on either side, then what I would do is trim off any excess. So what you could do is make this slightly wider, put your pieces down, and then trim the edges to fit. Okay, so let's leave that there for a minute. Let's put the top on my glue, and now I'm going to just do this circular part. So I've got the tree and the branches, and I've stamped my little bird and punched it out. So I've got this panel here, so say slightly smaller one. And let's just bring in a spare piece of grid paper. So I'm going to go off the edge here. Let's fold this over. Okay, so I'm recreating this panel. So I was going to stand that up there. Let's use the branch, and because my bird is facing to the right, I'm going to bring this in from the left hand side. Obviously if you use the other bird and stamped it or fussy cut it, you probably want it facing the other direction. And it doesn't really matter which colour ink I use. I've got soft suede, and I've got Parakeet Party, which is the green that you see in the panel. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this slightly more than, well, probably about 3/4 of the way down, like so. I'll leave that open because I want that for the eyes. And then let's add the greenery. So I've got Parakeet Party. Just going to ink this up. And I chose this because I knew it would match the papers. And I'm just going to sort of double stamp this, like so. And on my sample here, I've stamped A Little Bird Told Me underneath at the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to add some more leaves in here. There we go. And I do like these leaves. What I might do is actually cut this in between the two, so you've got a set of 3 and a set of 2, but I won't tidy up the piece of photopolymer in the middle. I'll just cut it, and then you can put the leaves back together again. Okay, let's stamp our bird. So this is going to go on my backing here, like that. And I've written on here stamps just to make sure I don't use this for any parts of the card. So I'm going to try the bird, this time in Orchid Oasis. And let's bring that in. Like so. This is a brand, well, almost new ink pad. So I can just see I've got a little bit of fluff on the stamp to start with, and I'm just going to move some of this ink to the side so it's not quite so bubbly. Like so. Okay. Still got a bit of fluff on there. Okay, let's see what this looks like. So when this punches out, it sort of punches out at quite a sharpish angle. So I'm going to bring that down to the bottom, like so. And I can see tiny little hair on there, minuscule. So I've got rid of it. Let's try again. That's looking better. I'm going to turn this. I can see a hair on the tail now. Goodness me. Well, I'll say hair, it's a piece of fluff of some kind. Right, fingers crossed we've got it this time. That looks better. Okay, I'm also going to stamp up the wing, and I know that sort of goes in the punch, I think sort of that way round. So this is the bit that we're recreating. Let's stamp the eyes while we're there. Okay. And I've got a little piece for the beak. I had a little piece. Just grab that. Here it is. Well, it's not such a little piece, it's a huge piece really, but it's perfect for the little beak. Okay, so let's punch our bird. So I'm just making sure there's an even amount of white around the edge, and then punching out that little wing. You could also punch out sort of 2 wings if you wanted to and have them at different angles. Doesn't really matter which way your wing goes. Okay, let's pop the beak on. I'm going to put the tiniest amount of glue, with any luck, on the centre of that beak. You could also stamp the beak in or stamp and punch the beak out. I just go for the simple option, which is punching the beak out a piece of pumpkin pie or mango melody, whatever you've got to hand. So I'm going to pop the wing on with a piece of dimensional. Let me see if anybody else has joined us. I can't see from here. Doesn't look like it. Well, if you haven't said so. No worries. Let's find scissors. Just want a small piece. For the wing. See, this is sticking out a little bit. Let's have it like so. And then my bird is going to go onto there, and let's see if I've got enough space for the sentiment under here. I could also put it at the top. That would also work. But I think I'm going to put it at the bottom to be on the safe side. Just using soft suede again. There we go. And then the bird's going to sit on the branch, and I could add some more leaves and things up there if I wanted to. Let's pop this on, and it's going to have its tail sticking out a little bit. Let's put these two layers together, and you could put these on dimensionals if you wanted to as well. Remove the backings, check the time, not bad at all. Okay, so there's our little panel, and let's put this card together. So I'm going to attach this here, and then I've got my fold coming over the back. So you could measure this. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to trim the size of this. Because I haven't put it on particularly straight. Hopefully, as it's only a card and a layer of paper, will be good. There we go. And I'm just going to do this other side. So I know this is going to be slightly smaller, but I'm alright with that. Okay, so I'm going to glue this. So what I like to do is turn this over position it where it's going to go, and then I know where the glue needs to go. You can use a pencil or something just to draw a line so you know that no more glue than that needs to go on your panel. Like so. And I'm just doing that by eye, but you could, if you wanted to, measure and position this correctly, or accurately I should say. Okay, so that's that, and then I'm just going to fold this over and attach it here, and again I'm just going to draw a very light line which I can rub out after, and put my glue on here like so. I don't particularly want to put it on here because I don't know how far up this is going to come. There we go, and it should be fairly straight. Okay, so there's our panelled card, and then this is going to go in the middle, and I ended up with the same colours either side of that, which was weird because I was actually looking for a contrast, but actually it works quite well because I've got the contrast behind with the darker blue. So this time I'm going to put the glue just in this centre panel so that it's not going over the edge. Oh, I could also put it on dimensionals, that would have been quite nice, but I'm just going to position that like so. Okay, just going to turn this over, add a bit of pressure. So it says, "A little bird told me," and then you can open this up and stamp your sentiment inside. So I will probably use, you've got something to celebrate, or it's your special day, or just a happy birthday on the inside. So there we go, something different. I really do like this fold, it's really interesting. So do have a go at it if you get the opportunity. So as I say, this is not my idea, it's from Leena Girsa. So there we go, those are the finished cards. Let me just bring this one up to the screen so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. And I have got a quick sneak peek at the cards that we're making at Coffee and Card tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday. This features the Love Cats stamp set, and I decided, oops, this is the stamp set itself. No, that's not the stamp set at all. That's the Songbird stamp set. It's this one here, Love Cats, and it's got the 3 cats in different positions. And I thought it'd be good fun to have, especially these 2 cats, but also potentially this one, sitting or hanging on different things. So for example, we could put a tree on either side of this, and I've got 2 ideas already for the other 2. This one's sitting on top of this basket, and this one here is actually on the tree branch that we've used here. So very simple. They're going to go on square cards with a coloured backing. I've also got the present. Let's take that off. which would be quite fun, with the cats sitting on the present, whichever way you want that to go. And I'm going to look through my stamps and see what other items. Obviously you can just stamp them on the circle that we're going to use, so I'll be die cutting those this evening. But I just thought that was a little bit of fun, something slightly different with the love cats, and got some different colours as well. So we've got black, basic grey. I'm going to bring pumpkin pie, Cajun craze, so you can have sort of ginger cats, and smoky slate cats and brown cats, so a little bit of everything. So I hope you've enjoyed the card this evening, and I look forward to welcoming some of you at Coffee and Card tomorrow, Friday in Brackley, Monday in Toaster, and Tuesday morning in Brackley. Thank you so much, everyone. What a nice bright set of colours. Thank you for joining me. Do take care, look after yourselves and your loved ones, and I hope you'll be able to craft again really soon. Bye for now.